Welcome back to the channel, guys. Definitely appreciate the support. Special thanks out to all of you guys, actually, but especially the guys who are still in the membership category. I've said it over and over again for people that ask questions in the comments. They say, hey, how can I become a member? And I always tell them, hey, I wouldn't advise going in the membership area because I just don't have enough time to make videos for the membership area. That's why I haven't made videos in that category this year. But guys still want to go in there, and because you still have access to all the old videos from last year. And as you guys know, you watch my channel, I'm all about concepts and things of that nature. So things that you learn, I like it to where you can come back to that video 2 years later and it will still apply. Okay. There's guys I'm pretty sure that watch videos of mine from Madden 22 and you can still learn some stuff or at least see my perspective. Okay. I also want to give a special thank you to all of my members who have been in there no matter what. I mean, I've said it in there. I've told them, hey, after I dropped so many videos last year, when I knew, hey, I'm at a standpoint to where I really can't invest enough time to continue making these videos, and I encourage them to go ahead and unsubscribe from the membership area. A lot of guys still stay in there, and I'm just in shock at that. So I just love the support, and I want you guys to know, originally when I started to make videos, I think it was about 4 or 5 years ago, my goal wasn't to really even grow. I don't know what it was. It was just like, hey, man, I've noticed a lot of people, the way they play on Madden, it seems too disassociated from actual, like, real football strategies and concepts and passing concepts, stuff like that. So I'm like, you know what? Let me get on YouTube and make some videos, and maybe, I'll scratch a couple years, and you may like my perspective. I just kind of been in shock by the support. So I just want to say thank you. That's what I want to start off with. So one last thing, I think I'm going to start because I want to give something for the members. Like, I, it's like I want to make videos specifically for members, but I just don't have the time, So I just feel obligated to do something for them. So I think I'm going to at least have it to where they have access to the videos that I drop ahead of everyone else. Okay, just to give them a thank you. I know it's not much, but I really want to do something for those guys. I definitely appreciate all of the support. So without further ado, this video will be jumping into my 40th win in a row online. As you can see, I'm here. I'm at 130 wins before this game, 16 losses, and streak 39. So I'm going to show you my 40th win in a row, and I'm going to use this game to dive into some offensive and defensive stuff. A lot of guys like to hear just the way I think from the offensive and defensive side of the ball in a game, because your thoughts may change throughout the game based upon what your opponent is doing. So I hope you guys enjoy my perspective, I guess you can say. Hopefully I'm not too boring. So this is what I do: run balanced. And defense, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't. I really randomly pick defensive playbooks every other game. Okay, again, I just don't want to make it too long. It's because I'm practicing concepts, right? You don't have to. I only run this. Let me turn this down. I only run this playbook because I'm comfortable with this playbook. When you learn the different concepts, it doesn't matter what playbook you choose, right? That's why in previous years I was playing. Well, last year I was playing only big nickel over G, only because that was the only formation where they had palms coverage in there, right? And I love palms coverage and the match different coverages. So I'm like, well, I guess I'm stuck with this formation because they don't have it in other formations, right? But now they went back to the way it should be. So now I'm like, okay, I can play any formation. You can do a lot of different things defensively when you have access to a lot of different defensive coverages from any formation. So anyways, I come out, and now I come out in our newly play that I went over recently. By the time you see this video, I should have dropped it, where we are going to do the arches concept. Right away I see single high, right? So we know I don't like arches running the follow concept against single high, but what do we do with this play? Okay, well, first of all, I'm going to get the in motion. right there. So that's our arches concept, okay? But we can tag the other side with whatever we want, right? So arches, I like to run it against double high, cover four match, two man, and cover zero. I don't like it against two zone. But against single high, it's weak, right? So typically, you got to have a plan for when you get single high and you're trying to run the arches concept. Well, instead of us checking out of this play, we can just tag this side with whatever we want. Well, why not tag it with something that's good against single high? That way, when you run this play, you're good against pretty much any coverage, right? Maybe we can tag something that beats cover two zone over here. So it doesn't matter what you run, we have answers, right? So we're running the curl flat concept over here. And we're just going to read this player, right? Now, I still motion in. I still get them in the same deal because I want the hand signals to look the same the next time I run this play, right? So you can't get a key on what I'm doing. So I'll go ahead and play it. Okay, we're just going to read that second defender in. And something happens here, right here. I mean, you'll get to the point to where you're so used to reading players. My vision is over here, okay? And when I see this guy dropping out into this area, I can't throw the curl because he's in the window. And I can't throw the flat because he's widening with the flat, right? So can you imagine if this guy wasn't here, right? If he was on his typical rush, with him widening out, the window here would be wide open. So the curl flat would work. I'm just trying to get that across your head, okay? But he's running cover one man. Theoretically, this play, the arches concept, is pretty decent against cover one man because, again, we are fighting inside and we can get the robber player to run with this. But in Madden, I really don't like to run it against cover one man. And if something is good against cover one but not good against cover three, I just don't like to run it because they can look so similar pre-snap, right? But it works because the user overtakes our guy going inside. He runs with it as well, and you'll see we get a very big play. So, I mean, you know, you get so used to reading the defense post-snap, my eyes just naturally, after seeing this, just rotates to my arches side. And we get a big play. Okay, single high again. So now I'm in the wide receiver post. Obviously, I'm going to check out of this play because I don't like this play against single high, really. I probably checked into levels divide. I did. And then we noticed that we get a rotation here, pre-snap movement. So he could either still be in cover one and just, you know, did something with the defensive adjustments, or he could have audibled, right? So we really don't know. But again, that's the benefit of this play. It doesn't matter, right? Because we have something to attack double high on this side, and we have something to attack single high on this side. You guys have heard me go over this play a lot, so I won't do it over and over again. But we're just going to read this safety post-snap. I like to read the safety on the level side. And what he does post-snap will dictate where I go with the ball. Okay? If he stays in deep half or he sits like this, then my eyes stay, right? You stay, I stay. But if you leave as this safety, or you come down, or you widen like you're in curl flat, then my eyes leave because I'm going to work this side against single high. So you guys know the deal here. We're just going to read that safety. Snap right here. Look, I mean, you see how he's just immediately at this point in the drop, my eyes are over here now, right? So now I'm looking to throw our comeback, and we're going to run into a problem here. Mr. Parsons wanted no parts of that. We can pay attention to what happens here. He's rushing, and look at how he's one-on-one with our left tackle. They're only rushing 4. We double team the defensive tackle, but we don't like that one-on-one there, okay? And that's the benefit of having a superior pass rusher. Here it looks like cover 2 zone. Looks like I'm going to check into our HB draw play, and we can get a look at our center and guard making sweet love to each other, screwing the play up. So now we're 3rd and 6. Okay, so I check into, oh, this is a beautiful play here. Again, levels divide. We like it against double high, okay? It's medium strength against double high in my opinion, as far as 2-man and cover 2 zone. But again, what we're going to do is, because it's cover 2 zone, we're really going to read off of this player, right? So you guys know the routes, up, in. It's going to run there. If you climb up here, the window is open to throw our underneath in. However, if you decide to jump the in, then the window is open for us to throw here. right? But look at how I double team our problem here. Okay, and this is the benefit of understanding like coverages, right? They're in cover 2 zone. Okay, so they are only rushing 4. So that allows us the ability, a lot more flexibility in regards to double teaming players. Now, if they are bringing 6 on a rush, then we can't double team someone, right? Here's another problem. This is a problem on my opponent. Okay, I think in a previous video, I told you guys about the underfront, where you got the tackle, the guard, the center, guard, tackle. We'll put the tight end here. Okay, and you got your defensive end here. You have a 3 technique, a 1 technique, and we'll put, defensive end here, right? Well, this underfront is something where you can get a lot of opportunities of getting a one-on-one with your 3 technique against the guard. And this is why the Tampa 2 defense with Tommy Harris with the Chicago Bears in 05, and then you had Warren Sapp dominating the position, okay? Because this front makes it to where it's nearly impossible to get a double team on the 3 technique. Think about it. If I flare out, first of all, it's hard for me to get outside on that. And, I'm not a king of offensive technique, but, that wouldn't be a good move. But your center coming over to double, what would that do for your guard? He would obviously have to deal with the 1 technique, but he would be able to get inside so easily, right? Because of his pre-snap position. So the center really cannot swing out to help the guard, okay? It would be a very hard block for your right guard, right? So that front allows the ability to get a one-on-one with your nightmare underneath tackle against the guard, right? Well, look at what my opponent is doing. I mean, this guy's a beast, right? We saw how he dominated the left tackle. But when he shifts, you can rewind, he shifts his defensive line this way, right? So my center can block this guy, and I can get a double team, right? It would be different if he did something like this, where he shifted to where this guy is actually the X, and this guy is like here, right? And then what I would do is I would slant my defensive line this way to make sure that you take the center, because I want my one-on-one here, right? How could you double team that? So watch what happens here. We're going to watch it twice. Let's watch the passing part first. Okay, we're looking at this player. He goes up, he jams him. Look how we're throwing in rhythm, on time, knowing we're good. Pick up a first down on 3rd and 6. Manning used to do that all the time. Now, let's look at the offensive line. And look how we flare out, double team, and we neutralize that guy, right? So, I mean, we're able to know. I mean, you can't just double team a guy and you don't know who's coming, not coming, right? Because again, if you were to double team and they're bringing 4 over here and you're blocking 3, well, someone can come scot-free, right? But because I know it's cover 2, that's one of the weaknesses of cover 2, you can't bring 6, right? You could bring 5, but then you're having a gaping hole in the back end, etc., right? Here we are 3 plays in, and I'm still running my mouth. So this looks like cover 2, and then I checked into a play to attack cover 2, pretty much going to throw that post every time, but then he audibles into a blitz. This is cover 0. So I believe I checked into quick slants. I did, but then I started to make some minor adjustments here, and we will see that here, right here. So this is what I'm going to run, okay? So with the Mike tagged as this guy here, what we're going to do is we're going to get a 3-man slide. This is against an even front. So these 3 are responsible for these 3, okay? And then we get big on big. So what does that mean? That means we are hot off of this player, right? So if he decides to come with this guy coming, we have no one to block him. So what would we do in that potential situation? We would have to get rid of the ball. And this is why I decided to switch this route combination here. You'll see it here. There you go. So again, these 3 will take these 3. These two will take these two. And if you decide to come, I'm throwing my hot. And the reason why I like this is because someone's going to be man-to-man on the back. What if it's him? Well, it doesn't matter because he's out leveraged to the flat, right? If you were to turn these guys where you face the sideline and you face the sideline, like turn 90 degrees and look at the sideline, and you guys get in a race, okay? First one to the sideline wins. We don't know who's faster than who, but who has the clear advantage there? The back, right? Because he would have a head start, right? So he's gonna have a head start on this guy running to the flat if you're man-to-man. Now, what if he's man-to-man on the back and we snap the ball and he's running with him? Well, we can't throw that, right? But we wouldn't mind, right? Because we be good in protection here. And if you flare out, well, I know I'm good. I know I'm hot off of this player, but it would take a long time for him to get there. And I would probably throw my slant here because I know he's one-on-one. Okay, so that's a lot, I guess, to swallow when it comes to my overthinking. But I figured I'd share it anyway. Snap the ball, look, he's coming. Right here in the drop, I know I'm throwing the flat, right? I still wait a little bit. I don't throw it early, right? I still wait a little bit because it's going to take a while for him to get there. Our offensive line actually flared out to pick him up because this guy decided not to come. So I made him hot. I actually want to go back. So I actually think that that's wrong. I think if we tag him as the Mike and the center turns this way and this guy bails out of there, well, it makes sense. Maybe he would flare back for his back. I would much rather him get a double team on this guy, and then, you know, offensive linemen, they're talking, they're screaming during plays. It's not like everything's locked, right? I watched the video. It was just so interesting that the guy was like, hey, he was offensive line coach or something. He said something along the lines of, you know, if the guy shows and gets out of there, we get a double team and someone's coming outside, you're going to yell something like switch and yell it out really loud. So those guys are screaming and et cetera to communicate pre and post snap. I don't know why I was oblivious to that. I knew pre-snap, but not post-snap, right? Enough about that. But anyways, I throw the flat, we get outside, and I don't like that animation. It really pisses me off where he's got to slow down for the ball. So obviously maybe I need to practice that. Single high. I stay in our levels divide play. I wonder if I tried to double our guy there. But we'll just keep it moving. Yeah, I did. Look at that. Double team. Well, watch what happens. I think he drops out. I mean, why would you ever do that with this guy? I really don't see the point with the scheme that he's running, but that's fine. Look how they both flare out to get this guy. So he would have no chance, right? Now, why can we do that? Because I know it's some type of cover 1 or cover 3. We're not going to get an overload pressure based upon what this guy has been doing, right? So we're able to do this. But he doesn't come, so then they come back inside. This guy almost gets triple teamed. You're only rushing 3. I mean, I have all the... I mean, think about what happened when he rushed 4, and we ran the same play. I was getting ready to throw the comeback, and I get rocked, right? A guy's got to get out of this mindset of dropping into zone coverage everywhere, right? And I still got rocked. That's the Bengals for you, right? Scheme-wise, we should have been fine there. So I didn't show you the rest because it was boring stuff. I went ahead and scored. And I'll show you what I do on defense. I only change option to conservative, and I turn match on. I go to formation, waiting for what my opponent does. And when he goes gun doubles, I love to run cover 2 match. If you don't know what cover 2 match is, that's not cover 2 match. You have to pick cover 2. What you do is you put both of these corners into soft squats, and then you do something with the middle read player. You got to get middle read out of there. A lot of guys teach where you send this guy into a deep middle third. That's like horrible, okay? Because you're just vacating a lot of space, and this is just wide open against. You're just gonna have so many gaping holes with that, okay? I don't want to say a lot of people teach it, but I saw a guy show it that way. Why not optimize the defense? Go watch my videos on cover 2 match. But this is why we have to user this player, okay? And then we take over his responsibilities. Obviously, we change him. I change him to a man on the back, right? As long as middle read is out of there. And what we're doing is we are relating to the number 3. And that's how we make this defense 10,000 times better than just sending this guy on a deep middle zone, okay? You really don't want to do that. So we're going to relate to the number 3. I forgot what happens. I think he... Okay, yeah, I think he sends this guy to the flat, and then this guy goes to the flat as well. And that's a good way to attack cover 2 match, right? Because he's going to match the 2, and now we are out leveraged to the flat, right? I think that's what happens here. He sends him right away to the flat. That's like a poor route combination, because essentially this guy can really kind of cover 2 guys. He's supposed to be outside leverage here. Well, no, because he's soft squat. Let me stop talking. Throwing outside and gets a good move on me and gets 9 yards. Good job. One thing I like about cover 2, though, is it's a bend but don't break defense in a lot of ways, philosophy-wise. So if you're going to be a cover 2 team where that's all we play, I would definitely advise that you change the tackle system to aggressive, because that's what you want to do. You keep the ball in front of you, and you get a lot of guys tackling the ball carrier, and that's where you want to kind of knock at the ball and get that ball out of there, right? Goes guns, doubles hip again, so I go cover 2 match again. Again, we're going to relate to the number 3 as the user. Snap the ball. 3 goes outside, so I head this way. And when that happens, I'm expecting the number 2 to come back inside. That's why a lot of times when I expand this way, I don't overexpand, right? So as you can see, that's what was going to happen, right? This guy gets out leveraged out there. That's fine. I'm not going to replay the route combination because, again, the video will be way too long. All right, so next play, I go cover 2 match again because he's in doubles hip. And this time, notice how I brought my second defender to the outside of the tight end just to give a different look. And then this is when he decides to run the ball. So this is poor offensive line play. They get a double team here, and the wrong guy peels off to get me, okay? They should have got the double team, and number 73 should have peeled off and sealed me off, right? And look at the gaping hole that could have transpired there. One mistake by the offensive line up front costs him a good 12 yards, right? So, I mean, that's one thing you could do as a user. You hang inside, and the game automatically encodes, okay, this guy's got to get him, which I don't know why they would ever do that. You would almost always want this guy to come off and peel so he can seal for the runner here, right? So bad luck for our opponent here. I go back to 2 match again, snap the ball, and now you see why I put conservative in. Our outside linebacker made a poor angle, which is why he was able to get that amount of yardage. So I'll fast forward a little bit. He gets a first down, kind of dinking and dunking up the field. Right? And this is where I slow it down. I go back to cover 2 match. So I like it against doubles type sets. And when the number 3 comes up, I just stay over the top of him. And look how he overtakes and becomes the new number 3. So I should overtake that. Throws it. And in cover 2 fashion, look at how we have 8 eyeballs on the ball carrier, all engaging. We get that thing out of there. And he was pissed. He was pissed. Oh, another thing Lovie Smith would always teach. I don't want you to just take the ball away. I want you to score with it. That's what the Bears used to preach in their glory years. I call it glory years, and they still didn't win a Super Bowl, so it's kind of sad. So here, here I'm playing. So if you're wondering what this is, I call cover 4, but we're playing, see, this is the benefit of split field coverage. Okay, split field coverage is anything on the double high side, right? So 4-2-2-0. And under 4-2-2-0, 2 zone, 2 man, 0, you have different variants. Okay, why don't I do it over here? 4, 2 zone, 2 man, 0. This is the double high side defense. This is a single high side, so you got 3 and 1, right? You guys know this. I've been going over this for years, right? Well, the benefit of double high is, again, this is a split field coverage. Okay? Well, there's different variants of cover 4. You can play, regular match. You can play palms. Okay? And then there's other stuff. There's a cover 4 stress that I want to get into at some point. 2 zone, I went over a whole bunch of variants last year, right? Where you got 2 match, you got regular cover 2 zone, you got 2 seam, right? Under 2 man, you got cover 5 cougar. That's not in the game, right? But the whole point is, what I'm getting at, cover 2 man, is we can play in a split field coverage. You draw a line down the center. We can play one variant on this side of the defense, and then we can play a whole nother variant on this side of the defense. And the reason why we are awarded the ability to do that in a split field coverage is because this side of the defense is completely independent of what's going on this side of the defense. You cannot say that again with single high. That's why you can't do this with single high. It's one of the things I love about split field. You can get so creative on the defensive side of the ball. If you're running some type of concept on this side, and I know a variant that is good against that, but then you're running some other type of concept on this side, and I know a variant that's good against that, I could run the optimal variant on this side and the optimal variant on this side to shore up my defense. So I went through all that to say I'm playing a totally different defense on each side of the field. What we're playing on this side, what I thought they were going to play was almost like a box check. Basically, we get a 4-on-3 here. But on this side of the field, I check into pounder. If you don't know what pounder is, it is a 2-man variant. So you got cover 5 cougar. I should just call 2-man cover 5, but I call it 2-man for recognition purposes. Okay, you got cover 5 cougar, you got regular cover 5, which is 2-man, you got pounder. And I went over the pounder defense last year. This is a Vic Fangio defense, where instead of this guy, you see how it looks like 2-man because I just man up these 2 guys. But instead of him playing deep half, he's still in his quarter responsibility. And we do this so we can get a double team more so on inside receivers. So if you think about how cover 4 is, remember, he's reading 2 to 1. Right? If he goes deep, then he takes him. However, in a situation where he goes, out and this guy goes on a post, well, then now he gets on the post where they can double this in true cover 4 fashion. But I call cover 4 and put these guys in man-to-man to throw a little wrinkle in there. And now we're playing we're playing pounder, right? So we're just going to man up no matter where these guys go. But if this guy goes deep, I expect him to double. And if he stays underneath and he goes deep, I expect him to double, right? So we'll see what transpires here. I think what happens is, I think they run like switch releases here. And these guys almost play, almost like, I guess you could call it a banjo, where he takes the outside guy, he takes the inside guy. He goes to the flat, I think the crow flat takes that guy. So we can take a look at this. Okay, that's exactly what happens. And our pounder safety did not drive on the deep in pattern, right? So in this combination here, our man defender should have ran with that. And our other man defender, you would want him to play with outside leverage due to where he is, and the safety should be able to drive on that. So we kind of got, I guess you could say, bailed out because this guy came from the other side. And that's unacceptable, honestly. Because if you're playing in and out coverage over the top, you would think this safety would have superior position on this post pattern. But, great receivers run great routes. So it is what it is. Here I'm running cover 3 cloud, and I should have paused it to show what I was doing. I was trying to maintain inside leverage on this route because that's my job there. I kind of got beat to the spot. I just closed the window to where it can be kind of like a tight window. Here he came out and bunch wide. And again, I go into split field coverage, cover 4, where we can box this side. But again, I went in a video about leveraging the boundary, but I also like playing that same game on the single receiver side, even if it's from the field. Look at how he has the bunch on the boundary side, which is horrible. Okay, there's a lot of different things you can do position-wise to make life even harder for opponents who do that, right? But obviously, I don't have enough time to do all of that. I bring the safety down. I believe I blitz him. And again, this is us playing a split field coverage. We're playing a man-to-man blitz type look on this side and boxing the other side. What's my responsibility in this coverage? I know you are Meg on this back. I'm bringing him on the blitz. I am man-to-man on this guy, no matter what. I'm locked. Okay? I'm not responsible really from anything coming from the front side of the offense. Okay? Again, split field coverage. Now that changes against trips, but that's where I play palms, so the weak side safety doesn't have to rotate over to number 3 running deep. Okay, so I hope I'm not going way too over in the weeds. Look at that hand signal. I mean, trust me, when you guys do this, you're gonna get a lot of funky stuff because guys are not used to seeing that. Right? Now, also, I need to lab this up to figure out a way to get real good pressure with this look. I haven't had enough time to do it, but I want to, so we can make it even better. I'm just reading his release. When he takes an inside release right away, this is the problem with Madden 2. I know it's a corner, a burst corner. Right here in the play, I knew burst corner, right? So how could the game alleviate that? Well, you need to have a lot of different routes from this inside release, right? If you immediately inside release, they should have something where you burst up and you run a slant, right? Or if you inside release, come up, run it out. Or inside release, run up, out, and up. Inside release, up, post, stop, right? If they have it like that in the game, then I would have issues with this inside release. I still wouldn't know what he's going to run. I mean, it ties into real life too. If you're playing against, you're a corner and you're playing against a receiver who's, telegraphs his routes. Whenever he takes this release, he's running one of 2 different routes. It makes the job a lot easier for the corner. It kind of translates to the game. The problem with their game is, right here I knew it's a burst corner. So watch how I play it, right? Look how I'm already, I'm ready to pounce on this. So, I don't like that about this game, just knowing the routes. But our frontside safety gets torched when he shouldn't. Okay, which really pisses me off when I see that. He just makes a bad pass. And you wonder if it's because, again, is it the pressure look and he kind of was pedaling away and threw it? Okay, and we can see why our frontside safety got torched there. Okay, you see how he was sitting inside the way he should be, and he just gets torched, right? He just gives away that position. I don't know why. It's just a bad throw. So the concept, remember, he's first inside underneath, but no one comes inside underneath. So what does that allow him to do? Get depth and get in the window. Okay, no one's coming inside. I don't like that animation. Why is it at the snap of the ball he immediately comes inside this? Because the game telegraphs. The game knows that no one's coming inside, so we're going to program you to come inside immediately without you even looking over here first, right? So that's just not realistic. He's able to get depth and get in the window of the throw. 4th and 19, and our opponent is going to punt here, and we move on. Single high, what did I check into? Levels divide. Yep. So I'm looking to throw this over here. Look how we stay in the pocket. We throw at the top of the route in rhythm. No huddle. Okay, this is a cover 0 blitz. Don't remember what I did. Oh, so I just went ahead and snapped this thing. So what does that mean? That means someone's going to come scot-free because we are in 5-man protection here. I didn't even set the protection. Okay, and there's a reason, because I know I'm throwing this out. Throwing this out at the top of the route, the ball would be gone before that 6th defender gets there. Oh, if it's you, good luck, right? It's just so much stuff to go over, man. I love the game of football, and I know you guys do too, man. It's just it becomes so exciting when you learn and learn. And I have so much to learn. There's guys who watch my videos who know more about the game than I do, right? It's just fun to go over this stuff. Did I go back too far? No. So Mike's here, so theoretically, here, block, and that makes this guy the hot, right? Now, technically, if he comes too, right, we have no one to block him too. But what's the problem with that? Well, for one, look at how far away he is from the quarterback as opposed to him, right? So watch what happens. I mean, this is why, if you have a rhythm in time offense, we could run this play 1,000 times. He will never get here before the ball's gone on this out pattern. It would just never happen. That's why, I assume when you watch games, you see corners try to hold if they're coming on a pressure, right? They try to hold it as long as they can to kind of disguise. But no matter what, they're trying to get as close as possible before they come, right? Because you don't want them to snap the ball when you're out here, right? You might be just pointless in the play. The ball's gone before you got there anyways, right? We'll see what happens on the protection. I believe this guy is man-to-man on this guy. No, he's blitzing, so you're man-to-man on the back. Our center opens up this way and then turns back this way, so he should be coming scot-free because he opens too late. But again, the ball's gone before he gets there. So this guy has no chance in hell to making it there. Look how far away he is by the time the ball's gone. So we'll speed this up, try to get through this. There, you can go back and rewatch that, but I thought it was single high. That was a pre-snap presentation. And at the snap of the ball, this is a play that can get me to where I don't work back to the backside against two zone, right? Because theoretically, if we knew that this play was going on, you would want to work this side. But it's just so hard to do that when they show a single high look and rotate into double high. They roll like that. I'm just not used to going from single high to double high, right? It's just a weird, funky thing. So that's why I go to the check down, right? Even with me being confused in the play, we still get a positive gain, right? And we move on to 3rd and 3, 3rd and manageable. Keep it going. Now I'm in the arches play, but because it's single high, I tag the side with the curl flat, right? But then he checks into a blitz. Okay, again, we're just pre-snap reading, right? And we like this play against a blitz. Now, I'm at a standstill. I don't know what would be the optimal way to block this up. Who do we make the hot? Okay, because theoretically, in most cases, you slide away from the concept side, right? And what I mean by that is, let's say we were running snag, corner, flat, and we were running like, let's do lion, right? You would really want him on a now slant, 3-step slant, okay? Well, in a concept like this, you would almost always slide to the will, to the weak side, okay? So these three would go this way in their slide. You would be big on big this way, and you would be hot off of this defender. And the reason why you would do that is because the quarterback is always going to look towards the concept side first, strong side. Okay, so if I'm going to look this way at the snap of the ball, well, you're in my field of vision anyways. So at the snap of the ball, if you come, I know right away, throw hot, right? Why would you slide towards the concept side? I'm going to look this way, big on big, and make this guy the hot. Well, at the snap of the ball, if I'm looking this way and this guy comes, right? I don't know he's coming. Why would you want your quarterback to snap the ball, identify if this guy's coming first? Okay, he's not coming. Now get my eyes to the concept side, right? To me, that's just not the way to go. Now, it would work out if he comes and now you can throw hot, but then you add other issues with that as well. Okay, so anyways, I'm at a standstill with this one because, yeah, you want to slide this way, big on big, and if he comes, throw hot. But the problem is, You know, this guy's coming into the window that this guy would be coming scot-free if I made him the hot. So it seems to me almost like, well, maybe I should make this guy the hot and slide this way. You know, a rare occasion where I do slide towards the concept side because we're running into the weak side, right? So I'm at a standstill with this. So I guess I stayed in, yeah, I actually did check into strong side slide, big on big. This guy's the hot. If he comes, he's not blocked up. He doesn't come. So this is a disaster for our opponent. He was supposed to come on a blitz, but he's usering him. So right now I know I'm all good in protection. Now this is exactly what I was talking about earlier, how the center, if we had him turning this way and this guy doesn't come, you would think he would continue this way to help out. They could get a double team, and with their eyes downfield, they could see a corner and, hey, go get him, right? He would slide off, and it looks like that's what's going to happen. And he doesn't. But anyways, we dump it off. I've fallen in love with the follow concept, the arches concept. And here we're going to see me getting killed by my love for this concept. I don't know what I was thinking. I just was not thinking at all. I just was not paying attention. This is when you are just playing on autopilot, and that's what I was doing here. Really quick advice. The way you can, again, in the red zone, it's easier to disguise. So if you notice, the safety's kind of lying further out, and they can kind of throw off your reads in the red zone, which is something that I love. But an easy way for me to identify what's going on is I just look at the corners, right? If you're playing with outside leverage, it's because you have help to the inside. And if you have help to the inside, it's probably some type of zone. On the flip side of that, if they're playing with inside leverage, it's because you're playing some type of man defense. Because you don't have help to the inside, you want to use the sideline as your help, right? So I should have identified this as being zone, more than likely two zone, right? And theoretically, this play should be decent against cover 2 zone, I would think, because you would want the drag to take the 3, but maybe he doesn't chase the drag because it's so underneath, so he stays in the wind. I just don't like this play against 2 zone in Madden, right? So, I'm talking about the theory side. So here, I'm looking at this, and I just assume at this point he's going to chase it, which would open the window to rip it in there. And that's the problem with assuming. We throw an interception. So here, I mean, again, the formation is into the boundary. Now, this may be okay because there's more space for them to run this way, but it's just counterintuitive because all I do is I bring my secondary further inside, right? So yeah, you may be running more to the inside anyways, but we're just kind of maximizing the negative effects lining up the formation into the boundary like this. So I move them in, and I don't know why I keep doing this, but opponents are constantly throwing over here when I do that, and I just constantly under or overplay those routes. Can't tell you how many times I missed out on interceptions because I lined properly, I played cover 9 and all that, and I just don't pounce on the opportunities. So here he runs into this bunch steal again. So again, I like to leverage the boundary. Now I'm taking the corner, bringing him down. Let's see what I do. I think I leave him alone. Before we blitzed with the safety show here, right? So now it's on his mind. Well, now we're doing something different. We bring the corner here, and we look like we're blitzing. But in actuality, we're going to play almost like a cone technique, where he's still mag on this receiver. So if he goes inside, he should have superior position on that route. And I'm just going to top the route. So as the safety, I'm reading the release of this player. If he takes an outside release, I'm just going to top it right away, knowing that my corner would not have a chance in hell to properly defend that. But if he runs like a slant, well, then now I don't deal with that route at all, because I know my corner should deal with that pretty well, actually, because he's already inside. He can turn and whip and play it. But now I'm looking to help out on the bunch side. There's a number of different things you can do. So snap, he goes upfield. So now I'm trying to hang inside. And to my surprise, he runs a post. But look at how we have, again, the cone concept, right? I think Fangio calls this vice, right? Where cone is where if you have a receiver and you guys are playing in and out coverage, right? Where you're doubling the receiver inside and outside. Okay, so you would have to be aware of him going over the top of you both. But then there's a different type of double coverage where you have, instead of in and out, we have over the top and under, right? I think Fangio calls the first, what I showed, cone, and the second, vice, right? There's different types of double coverage. You notice when you double a receiver in the game of Madden, it never plays right, right? They don't properly one in and one out, or one over and one under, right? They've never had that right in Madden ever. I haven't even checked it this year. You notice they don't even have plays where it's one double X anymore, stuff like that. I haven't seen it. Okay, but here we almost get the true out and under, over the top and under defense due to aligning him, apexing him to the formation, and he's locked in Meg, and he turns and he's playing this in a way that we love, right? So I was late on coming inside to overtake this, but even with me being late, we get an interception. So that's just beautiful stuff. Gun bunch wide again, so I'm going to go quarters. Split field. Yes. Well, I mean, he's doing a good job having them into the field, but I'm going to play games on the boundary. He's been struggling with this look over and over and over again. Okay, so now we're in the double. Read the, as soon as he takes that outside release, now I know I'm locked. I need to top this route. Okay, notice how the back is blocking. Okay, so no, he was check releasing, so now he's out of there. So it brings him out of there. You're the 3 rec, you should take the first underneath inside. He does. I mean, that's just gorgeous right there. I don't know what's going on with this. So I think I go over, we get an interception. But this kind of pisses me off because it's just not defined. I think I put a replay on that. I didn't, so we're going to go back. I think what they ran was corner, in, and then whip or something like that. Okay. Well, you would think 3 rec would take this, and he does it beautifully. I remember last year the 3 rec was just horrible. He would just allow the guy just run right by him, right? So the defense plays so much better. Okay. Well, then I should take the second inside, which would be this guy, right? So I should take that. And what should happen on this corner? It should be doubled, right? We should have over the top and underneath coverage pretty much here. But we don't, because the corner actually chases this route. Now I wonder if it's because they define this as past linebacker depth. See, that's what I mean. Those are the things they should allow us to change. I don't like the make your flats 10 yards, 15, 20, 25, 30. To me, don't take offense to this. This is just my opinion. I could be wrong. I think that's stupid. Okay. I really don't think a lot of coaches are teaching their players, hey, play flat, but play 30 yards back. It just, no, right? How about you get, things like this where, hey, you guys, we have it to where you can, when you play match, we have it set to where something that's declined as a vertical route is past linebacker depth. Well, we made it to where you can change it. You can make it whatever you want. You can make it where 10 yards is the barrier for when it's determined as vertical, right? You can make it 6. You can make it 7. The key is we put it into your hands, okay? So me, personally, I would have this guy first deep outside, but I would have it would trigger at least maybe 11 yards against bunch. Something like that, right? So let's see what happens. Yeah, like he doesn't even go 10 yards. Why on earth would he chase this, right? This is like the ultimate trap here. It should be, please, please throw this, please. Right? The corner would be all over this. And the curl flag who expanded outside should be taking this, right? So this guy would be the guy he would want to throw to, because this guy would probably be out leveraged with that, because he takes the first outside, and since no one goes outside, then he chases inside. So he would probably be where this guy is, right? It's just so many, like, I just can't stand that. And then we get an interception when we shouldn't have, because the corner, the wide receiver beats the safety, and rightfully so, because the safety's playing with inside leverage on a corner route like that, right? So maybe it was a bad ball, whatever, right? The mistakes are layered there. So I go Arch's concept again. I see single high, so I check and I tag this play with the curl flat. So now right here, I'm just reading this player. Snap the ball. Okay, as soon as he bypasses, right in the window. Arch's concept. He checks in the single high. Well, this is Ohio with the angle route, but obviously I'm checking out. Oh, okay. I'm going to check on the levels divide. And what I like to do, I think I've went over this before, is when I get press single high, I still keep him on a comeback, but I change him into a go pattern. And the reason why I do that is because at the snap of the ball, you could be pressing or you could be playing bail, right? If you bail, so in this, I'm looking over here first against cover one press or a single high press, because I don't know if it's cover three or cover one. I don't know if you're bailing. And at the snap of the ball, what happens here dictates where I go. If he turns and bails and doesn't press, my eyes immediately get on this side, knowing that he's doing the same, right? And I'm just going to throw the comeback seam. The seam just continues to carry. He's going to bail, and that's going to be open, right? If not, because he gets in the window, well, then we throw to our check down here. But on the flip side of that, if at the snap of the ball he wins because you are pressing, then my decision making is over. I don't have to even think anymore. I just hold the ball a little bit, let it develop, and I'm throwing deep. Right here in the play, I know where I'm going with the ball. Okay, safety cannot help on this. He's inside the numbers, really. Well, since we're on the hash, maybe a little bit out, whatever. But right here, I know I'm throwing it there. Look at our safety being influenced by our seam. It's beautiful stuff. And we take it down, our 40th win in a row. And we've been doing it with such a simple scheme, guys. And Peyton Manning played a simple scheme. Okay, his scheme was simple. All right, we run levels divide, wide receiver post, PA tight end wheel. We run the draw play, and then we have the arches that I just recently implemented. And then I run stuff from that trips set where we can take advantage of base align and stuff like that. Guys, I've been just running this. Just this, right? Every now and then I'll sprinkle in something else, right? Just this, 40 wins in a row. Okay? So I'll leave it at that. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I hope you keep coming back, man. Peace.